This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Lenovo Smart Display 7-inch. We've reviewed their smart displays before, which were considerably more expensive and also larger, 8-inch and 10-inch versions. So, latest generation here, a lot of improvements. Before we continue, a real quick shout out to our video sponsor, Linkit, and their IP Buddy security camera. The IP Buddy security camera features motion tracking, SD card storage, and cloud storage, 1080p video recording, a Wi-Fi connection, and you can use the link in the description to save 10% and get a free SD card. Now back to our video. So what is this sort of thing? It's a home assistant and a display, right? That's what the name tells you. Well, this is a lot like the Google Home products with a display built in, you know, the Google, now they call them the Nest Hub, that sort of thing. So it does everything a Google Assistant can do on your phone, so you can say, hey, I won't say the word out loud, Google, what's the weather going to be? Who's the president of Bolivia? You know, all the usual things you can ask. It also handles home automation stuff. So if you have smart lights, Philips Hue or C by GE, if you have a Nest thermostat, all of those sorts of things you can control with your voice on this. We're going to look at it now. So it can do more than that because obviously, gee, you could just use your phone for that. And first off, you have a 7-inch touchscreen. It's IPS and it's 1024 by 600 resolution. That might not sound that high, but given how small the display is, it actually works out fine. It has wide viewing angles, which you would want from IPS. And again, it's a touchscreen, so you can interact with touch to swipe through information too. So if you use it in the kitchen, then you can ask it for recipes, for example. You can play a YouTube video. You get the idea. Also, it streams music. So not only YouTube music, but Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, it's pretty popular use for these things. Speaking of that, the speakers now are along the bottom edge where that mesh grill is, which is a good idea. Before they had them off to one side with the Lenovo Smart Displays, which was kind of weird. So now you have a more normal stereo separation kind of thing going on. And it has a passive radiator to improve bass. So the sound on this is pretty good, actually, especially for a 7-inch product. This is not going to beat out a $300 speaker, obviously, but given the size of the device and the probably correspondingly not huge room you're going to be putting it in, it's loud enough and full enough that it's very pleasant to watch if you're, listen to rather, if you're playing videos, playing music, that sort of thing. Also, one thing the competing Google 7-inch Home Nest product doesn't have is a camera. This one has a camera. And it also has a privacy slider switch. So if you're paranoid about it, say you're using it in the bedroom, which is a good size for, you can turn that camera off. But what's it there for? This is for Google Duo video chatting. Unlike the new Nest Hub Max, which is a big 10-inch product that costs $230 from Google, it doesn't use the camera to recognize who's looking at it. So if you have several family members, that way it'll show you the right calendar for the right person, that sort of thing. That's not so you're going to get here. This is just for video chat. And of course it has a microphone because primarily your best mode of interaction with this is going to be using your voice, telling it, hey, Google, I don't want to set off all your Android devices out there. Turn on the bedroom lights or something like that, or play Spotify, or play this tune on Spotify, that sort of thing. You need a microphone. But there is also a microphone mute switch, so if you are using it in the bedroom and you and your spouse or loved one are getting jiggy with it, you know, you can have complete privacy. Just slide those switches and you're good. Doubtless, because you might be using it in the bedroom, you can avail yourself of the photo frame feature and show the photos of your choice in your own album, or you can have it show pretty stock photography or fine art photos, or there's a couple of different clock faces you can choose from. It does have an ambient light sensor that can set the brightness automatically for you. I find it's a little bit twitchy, like if your head moves and there's a lamp somewhere behind you, I wish they would make it a little bit less reactive and quick. And it also has a temperature sensor, so it can match the room lighting. Warm lighting at night, for example, it won't look like very blue, white on the display. So that's good. Whether or not you're using the ambient light sensor, well, it knows when it's day and when it's nighttime, so it automatically adjusts for that and it goes into dark mode at night. So if you are using it as a bedside clock, I find it better than most any clock I've used, these Lenovo Smart Displays, and also their smart alarm clock that I like a lot too, because it really is just bright enough to see, but it's not going to keep you up at night. When it comes to Google Assistant-based devices like this versus Alexa, I think in part it's going to really matter which ecosystem you prefer to be more tied into. I'm already using Android phones a lot, Google Assistant, home automation products, so for me that makes sense. But for some of you who are fond of Alexa and Amazon products and shopping via Amazon, perhaps even with your voice, then Alexa products can make some sense too. Either way, you're going to give up that sense of privacy when it comes to either company. So which one are you already giving more of your data to? So why would you want one of these other than the privacy concerns around these sorts of things? Well, one, they're kind of addictive. Once you get one, you want one here and there and in different rooms because you get used to controlling everything using your voice, assuming you do have things like smart lights and a smart thermostat and all that sort of thing. Even robot vacuum cleaners, you can control them. So it's just handy to have it in any given room. Given the size of this one's kind of perfect for the bedroom. It's great. It's just big enough so say maybe you want to watch some YouTube videos or Netflix or whatever it is before you go to bed, you can do that and have a nice looking display to do that with. If you want to listen to music, it's a great way to have music in any room streaming to the room. If you're cooking, it makes a lot of sense because you can bring up recipes, cooking shows on YouTube, for example, or you can set a timer simply using your voice, not your messy, gooey, covered with flour hands, that sort of thing. And also you can get recipe cards, that sort of thing, get the idea. And also in the morning is pretty handy too. You can set up routines for waking up or going to bed. So in the morning when you wake up, you can just say, good morning, Google, and it'll tell you what the weather forecast is, what appointments you have coming up that day, and what the news items are. And you can get news sources on this too, so you can find out the news of the day, if that's not too depressing for you these days. So that's the Lenovo Smart Display 7-inch, nice low price. Before the 8-inch was $199. Now this one's going to go for around $99. The list price is $129, but B&H is the launch retailer, and they're selling for $99. I'm sure when other retailers get it for the holiday season, they'll probably be matching that price as well. So compared to Google's own 7-inch offering, this one's a bit newer. This one gets you a camera if you have a use for the Duo video chat. The design of it is certainly nice. No more faux bamboo look or anything like that. You've got Blizzard white on the back, and you've got the nice kind of fabric gray mesh grille that Lenovo does well. It's a pleasing display. The resolution is certainly sufficient looking. It's bright. It's colorful. It's nice. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos and hit that notification bell.